Hello, my name is Teresa Toituu, and this is my final exam speech. What skills you expected to gain from this class? I expected to gain organization skills in speech. I am able to speak in front of others. I'm able to speak face to face with people because the kind of work that I do, that's what I do on a daily basis. But what was difficult for me was speaking in front of a camera. I'm very camera shy. I don't like to take pictures as well. So doing taking this course has helped me to um, you know to work at that. And hopefully one day I will overcome being camera shy. Please list and define terms, concepts from the interpersonal communication chapters. Um, of course, like I have said, I like to talk face to face. What I also learned is learning to listen to others. I think it's really important to, especially because the profession I'm in and that I want to go into, being a nurse, I think it's very important to, because you'll be dealing with people every single, time you go to work, is learning to have that face to face contact and learning to listen to what like your patient is telling you and sharing you or their concerns that they have in order to better take care of them. Um, so that's why I think it's important to, to learn to talk to people face to face. Another thing that I think is important is like self concept. Um, for your patients to tell you a little about themselves and who they are. And even for me, I've been a CNA, a caregiver for the past 20 years. So I feel that it's so important to let your patients, or we call them like clients, know that, know who you are so that they could know you and they can start to trust you. Yeah. Because when they trust you, then you're able to better take care of them. So please describe your strongest presentation. I I think my strongest presentation was my persuasive speech because um, I think I was better prepared. I tried to take in um, what the instructor was telling me that I need to work on. So I wanted to try not to use too much of my notes and, try to kind of speak from, like memory and just speaking from what I believe about what I want to share. So, yeah, so that's what I think was my strongest presentation. It says here, please describe one of your classmates' speech and that you felt was the strongest and why. I liked listening to Trevor Kim, his speeches on how the strict gun laws are, and even with the e-cigarettes. I think he did a really good job at explaining and giving that information for us to understand. It helped me to understand more about e-cigarettes because I thought like they were all bad. But after listening to him, it helped me to understand more of not, just focusing on the negative parts of e-cigarettes, but also there are good things about it. Um, and even with the strict gun laws here in Hawaii, yes, there's been such a rise in crime. It's really frustrating. And I really think that what he shared about, owning a gun and what you have to go through in order to have ownership of a gun, that's I was really thankful to learn about that. So, um, what organization pattern did you use to organize your interview speech? I used the topic order. because for me, when I think of a topic, um, it helps me to build ideas. So that's what I used. What method of informing did you use in your informative speech? Please define the method of informing you used and describe the specific techniques you use during your speech to let the audience know your method of informing. Um, I use sharing, knowledge because I think it's very important. That's really important to me to let others know, to share the knowledge that I have with others. And I like to keep knowledge. I get really excited when I learn about something or I believe in something and I just want to tell everybody. So it's a part of, even revealing who you are to others. And again, I'm going to go back to like the kind of work I do. I like to just share with people, stuff that I, know about, and I'm always talking to people. What techniques did you use to get your audience to actuate your persuasive speech? Um, I use direct persuasive or persuasion, letting people know in the beginning of my speech what I am trying to get them to understand and possibly believe. How has your public speaking skills improved over the course of this term? Um, my fear to be in front of the camera, like I mentioned before. Um, Now I feel more confident to, because I'm always thinking there's like nobody there, like I'm talking to myself. So now, I'm able to talk in front of the camera and feel more comfortable. So, what did your instructor write? Were your strengths? What did your classmates say that you did well consistently? Um, I did. I didn't get any feedback from my classmates, but from my instructor, she said I had good information, good narrative connection, and good organization and flow. So, what was the theme in your areas for improvement from the instructor? Did I work on those things? Um, Visual aids and trying not to read my speech to the audience. I try to work on that on my speeches. I know in my informative speech, I tried to use more visual aids, and I was still reading from my speech, but then in my persuasive speech, I think I did a better job at not reading my notes to the audience. What do you think you could have done better in your performance? I practice on speaking to the camera or to others. I'm very camera shy, and I rather talk in front of a class than like knowing I'm getting videoed. What are your personal professional goals for the future? Please give an example of a time you think that you may have to do individual and group presentation. How does the information you learned in this class have value, and how can you use this information to help you improve your public speaking opportunities in the future? Well, again, for the past 20 years, I was a CNA caregiver for elderly people. So I'm always talking to people. I want to be, I want to become a nurse. I do dialysis for my husband at home hemodialysis. So I want to train people, train dialysis patients to do dialysis at home. It's fairly new to Hawaii. So I know there's going to be times I'm going to be talking to people, sharing information, and also trying to persuade them to, try doing home dialysis. So thank you for listening to my speech. Take care.